What shall be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?
For a long time, life continued on as normal. People went to work, families gathered around televisions on Sunday afternoons, friends laughed around grills in the backyard, movie theaters were packed, and football stadiums roared. And most people kept chasing the same dream they were always told would bring happiness. Work harder, buy more, build a future. Everything will be okay. But slowly, almost unnoticed at first, something began to change. The food doesn't taste the same anymore. Prices continue rising. Farmers report across social media, more and more people are reporting what appears to be an explosion in tick populations. Backyards, parks, farms, hiking trails. Some claim they are finding them in numbers they have never witnessed before. Others upload videos showing animals covered in them, or strange infestations appearing almost overnight. And while experts point to changing temperatures and environmental conditions, many people can't shake the feeling that something larger is happening beneath the surface.
Yeah,
especially
because of meat, because of Gates.
Well, there's
Bill
boxes
Gates, not
people
Matt.
are finding. I don't know if this is true because I've seen many reports on it, but I'm just going to say what I saw. That farmers and ranchers are finding boxes of ticks on their property. Now, I don't know if that's fake.
I
I don't know if
either.
someone's setting that up to pretend they found these boxes of ticks, but there's videos of these people finding boxes of ticks.
Now, what they'll say is they'll probably say they're sterile ticks and that we're planting them out there so we can diminish the population, is what they'll say. But anytime they try to mess with the balance of nature, it never goes right.
Is that what?
Dying livestock, failing crops, storms are growing more and more violent. The weather becomes increasingly unpredictable, and online, people around the world continue uploading strange clips of insects and animals behaving in ways many say they've never seen before. What once would have terrified society now barely shocks any of us. And maybe that's the most unsettling part. Because over 2,000 years ago, Jesus warned that these things would come. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. An ancient word that suddenly feels very modern. And perhaps one of the strangest developments of all is the rise of a condition that once sounded almost impossible. In some people, a single tick bite has reportedly triggered severe allergic reactions to red meat, beef, pork, even dairy products in certain cases, a condition known as alpha-gal syndrome. Think about that for a minute. An insect capable of changing the way a human body reacts to food that it's had its entire life. In the 1993 movie Ticks, a ridiculous movie that seems a lot less ridiculous today here in 2026, as it is another sci-fi movie that deals with ticks that have become abnormal due to chemicals and steroids used out in nature. These ticks become abnormal and they start attacking people. Guys, another sci-fi movie. I think they're trying to give us a message. Meat itself seems increasingly under pressure. Prices continue rising. Farmers struggle. Talk of lab-grown alternatives spread across headlines. Food systems feel less stable than they once did. The Bible says that before the return of Christ, the world would look increasingly like the days of Noah. A time of corruption, violence, fear, and widespread deception. Today, many people online speculate about everything from biological experimentation to strange government research involving insects in past decades. Others discuss rumors surrounding isolated islands, laboratories, and controversial experiments. Some claims are exaggerated, some remain unproven, and some raise questions people believe deserve closer attention. But regardless of where a person stands on these discussions, one thing is undeniable. The world feels increasingly unstable, spiritually, mentally, and physically. This is not a message of panic. It's a message to wake up, stay spiritually alert, stay grounded in truth, and remember, Christ told us these things beforehand. All right, guys, remember, the supernatural is real. Armor up, church. This is war. Hey guys, I was editing the video and I wanted to interject here at the end and tell you my experience with the ticks. And so I knew something was going on. About 4 years ago, I was talking about the ticks, and I told a number of people in my own life that something was happening, was happening with the ticks. I've went my whole life without ever seeing a tick. I've never had to deal with them. I've got a few rescue dogs, dogs that I've taken in off the side of the road, and I live way out in the country. I live out in the woods, and I've always been able to just let them have at it, let them go outside and play and wander around. Never had any problems with any ticks. So, about 4 years ago, my dogs started coming home, and each one of them, I had 6 dogs at the time, and each one of them would be covered in ticks. And I didn't want to take their playtime away from them, so I would sit there and pick tick after tick after tick off of them. And, one day my bulldog, he came and laid his head on my lap, and he kind of made a whining sound, and I was like, what in the world is going on? And he kept leaning his head over that way. So I took a flashlight and I said, let me check his ear. And I looked in his ear. He had 8 ticks in that ear. And so I had to get some tweezers and pull those out. He was so much better after that. But that was it for me. I said, no, something is happening with the ticks. We, at the time when I would tell people about it, nobody was really listening to me. Like, nobody cared that I was noticing more ticks than usual. But now everybody's talking about it, of course. And, I made this video. I like to talk about the end times and Bible prophecy. And a lot of people may say, well, you're talking about ticks, so why are you trying to cause fear or talk about the Bible and end times? Look, the Bible does say that pestilences will come, but another thing the Bible talks about is he compares the end times like a woman travailing in labor. And so in other words, when a woman is having labor pains, the pains get worse and worse, and until they're not even spaced apart anymore. The pains are really bad, but now they're stacked on top of one another. And so that's what Jesus compares end times to. And so we are coming into a time where we can't even go through one pain without hitting 2 or 3 more. And so things are definitely ramping up, and that is why I felt the need to talk about the end times as it pertains to all the things we're seeing with the ticks. Not long ago we were hearing, and I had a picture about it in the video, but rabbits and other wild animals are growing black horns out of their heads, out of their face. We never got an explanation for that. Wasting away disease is spreading like wildfire. There's only a few people talking about that, but you really have to be careful if you're a hunter, because you don't know what meat's infected and what meat's not. And it's very contagious. But also, not too long ago, we were hearing about what they were calling zombie spiders. And these zombies had fungus that growing inside of their own bodies that was killing their internal organs. This fungus was paralyzing them from the inside out, killing them from the inside out. So they were calling them zombie spiders. It's getting creepier and creepier, and it's giving sci-fi movie. So that is why I felt the need to talk about the ticks in the end times. That's by far not the only pestilences and things we're seeing like that, but Jesus told us beforehand that these things were going to happen. Remember, every morning, call out to Jesus and ask for protection. It is that simple. If you believe the gospel, I don't care how you're living and what you're struggling with, what sin. I don't care. If you believe the gospel, you have that access to the Almighty God, the one who holds all things in the palm of his hands, and you can ask for that supernatural protection. We're not just battling the physical. We are battling the supernatural day in and day out, and I think that is something that Christians really need to start focusing more on. The supernatural is real. We are fighting more of the supernatural than what we realize. And I think the things that we give into, the choices we make in our day-to-day, they don't unsave us, but they will cause trouble for us. Making bad decisions and delving into sin will determine which side, good or evil, is influencing us more. If you are giving into that sin on a regular basis, you are inviting unclean spirits into your life, and that's just the fact of it. The church doesn't talk much about that, but that's one good reason to abstain from sin as much as possible. But you're not going to abstain from it all. That's what prayer is for. You need to wake up every morning and just ask the Lord to cover you with his mercy and grace. He will do that. He knows you're going to sin. He went to the cross. He saw everything you would ever do. He went to the cross for you. And so he wants you to call out to him. Just call out to him and ask for his supernatural protection. He'll do that. So anyways, I wanted to tell y'all what my experience with the ticks was. Over and over again, this has happened the last 5 or 6 years. I have called out things that have then, nobody cared about what I was talking about at the time. And then later on, they did become a problem that people were discussing. So anyway, I am coming back to YouTube. I've got some more videos that I'm making and trying to upload by morning. If you're still here and you watch this video, I appreciate you, and I'm glad you stopped by. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope you'll stay. That's about it. I'm going to end it there, guys, and just remember, church, the supernatural is real. Armor up, church. This is war. Love you guys. God bless.